When I first had this idea, I decided to take it to John Andrews at Centennial Institute because I told him, if any of you have ever read the book, The Tipping Point, you have the maven, the connector, and the salesman, and I think it's safe to say John comprises all three. If you've ever been to the Western Conservative Summit, and I went for the first time last summer, and the conservative world of Colorado opened up to me because by definition, I don't live in my comfort zone. I live in Aspen, Colorado. And the Weekly Standard is like my intellectual fire hose, among other magazines and newspapers and columnists that I like to go to. So I encourage you all, if you're not already signed up for this coming Western Conservative Summit this summer, please sign up. It's a phenomenal thing. But just by way of background, 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I was invited by the editor of the Aspen Times to provide some diversity on their opinion page, and at first I thought that meant they wanted a woman or a Jew, and they needed a conservative. I'd written a couple of guest columns, and I started writing, but I said, I can't just parrot talking points. And I started writing a column. I call it Think Again. The tagline is, you might change your mind. And because I didn't want to be the scourge of Aspen, I tried to, until the election, I worked on persuading people just on issues and steering clear of politics. Well, and the thought was, Colorado's a swing state. I live in a valley. 46% voters are independent. I thought I could help turn Colorado into the Florida of 2012, just as Florida swung Republican in 2000. Suffice it to say that didn't work out, and but since the election, I realized that it's not enough just to try to speak beyond the choir, that the choir isn't really singing very well in tune and in harmony. And I've, since the election, wanted to work on trying to help other conservatives message better. And what I've been trying to do in my column, recently I took on global warming, immigration, guns, marriage, and abortion, but I defy any of you to figure out where I personally stand on the issues, but they're decidedly conservative columns, and what I'm really trying hard to do is counter the false narrative that we are obstructionist and extremist. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I go to a lot of conferences like this now, and I was at a conference in January, the National Review Summit on the Future of Conservatism, and Bill Kristol was up on a panel saying, we need to communicate better, and pounding that point home, and we have the winning policies. And when he came down, I walked up to him and I said, well, what about we the people? Shouldn't we the people, not just our leaders, learn how to message better? And he said, that's a great idea. Why don't you call me on it? And so the rest is history. I'm so grateful to Bill and the Weekly Standard and Steve for participating in this, and to Centennial for convening it, and Krista and John for helping to moderate. And nothing like this happens without a lot of worker bees who can't be identified now, but I'm just so privileged that a kernel of an idea that I had got to be tried out like this. And Bill earlier was saying, if it doesn't work out, it's all my fault. And I just think that's a little performance anxiety he's experiencing here. But I have a feeling like in real estate, they say the three important things are location, location, location. I think in something like this, it's the quality of the speaker, and we couldn't do any better than we have now. So thank you very much. I'm very excited.